The Sand That Flowed Like Water, 2013, Dubai, UAE. They say the desert never moves fast, only in slow, quiet breaths shaped by the wind. But on one strange afternoon in 2013, on the outskirts of Dubai, a group of off-road drivers watched an entire dune collapse and flow like a living river. It began with the stillness that follows a rare desert storm. The air felt heavy, swollen with leftover humidity. The dunes, normally crisp and sharp-edged, sagged slightly under the weight of damp sand. One group had parked atop a ridge, their engines cooling, their laughter carried on the recovering wind, until the ground beneath them gave a subtle, unsettling tremor. At first it sounded like a long exhale, a soft shh sliding under the surface. Then the dune's face buckled. A sheet of sand peeled downward in one smooth curtain, gliding the way water spills from the edge of a bowl. One driver swore it looked like the dune had liquefied, losing all structure, turning fluid and alive. The group scrambled back, hearts pounding as the slope they'd stood on moments before dissolved in slow-motion waves, thick, shimmering, golden waves. Not chaotic, not violent, but eerily controlled, flowing in ripples that rolled over each other like honey being poured. One man, recording on his phone with shaking hands, captured the impossible. The sand didn't tumble or scatter. It slid, rippling outward with a glossy sheen as though someone had melted it from beneath. Each crest lifted, curled, and unfolded again, moving downhill with hypnotic rhythm. The sound was the strangest part. Not the roar of a landslide, not the patter of falling grains, but a continuous low whisper like thousands of beads slipping through a funnel, magnified across the desert floor. Experts later suggested that the storm had saturated the dune just enough to create a phenomenon known as sand liquefaction, rare, fragile, and almost impossible to witness on such a scale. But for the drivers who watched it happen, science didn't quite explain the way it moved. The sand didn't behave like simple wet soil. It behaved like something aware of its own weight, its own shape, its own momentum. And when the flow finally slowed, settling into a glassy, flattened pool of golden ripples, the desert fell silent again, returning instantly to its old stoic stillness. No trace of the event remained except for the shaken voices of those who saw it and the haunting footage shared across the internet, a river of sand, a dune that breathed and fell and flowed. Sometimes the desert reminds you, even the things we think are eternal can move in ways we don't expect. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.